Task 7. So task 7 is about bookkeeping systems. So I'm going to sort of see what we've got there. Oh, and data security includes. So Marco's running a small marketing business, 2 members of staff, John and Juanita. And they all visit clients and make sure there's always one person in the office at all time. Marco has one computer with all 3 staff members use. The password is, oh right, okay, the password is very easy. So it's easy for everyone to remember. State 3 risks to the business. Okay, so we've got some nice rules. So we're going to state, and we explain, and we expand. So we're just going to explain and we expand just to be able to get at what we're up to here. So the state 3 risks in there. So it's a simple password because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we expanded it. So could easily be broken by someone else with access to the system. Okay. Everyone has access because there's just one password. There's just one password. And let's go through what happens there though. So you can't track who is doing what. So it's easy for a fraud. And also as well, there could be GDPR. GDPR sort of data breaches. Yeah. And access to sensitive information, let's say. Okay. Right, so that would be pretty much it. And so in terms of just how to get going with those kind of things here, though, that kind of state what the question is, explain what it means, and then just expand what the consequences of it. That sort of makes it easier. We're in risks here, so we're all downsides, we're not going upsides. So everyone has access to it. So I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 risks there. So okay, I've given 4, and and I'm going to get 3, and I think I've covered all the points in the exam set. Marco does not really know whether the business has done well until the accounts are prepared at the end of each year. Well, that's not great. He would like to understand how the business is doing throughout the year and perhaps be able to set targets for John and Juanita. Identify useful characteristics of useful information that's missing from Marco's current system. So what we really want then in terms of our sort of financial systems, it's got to be reliable. So I mean, these are the AAT sort of terms. Let's go back in the good old days of 29 years ago. Michael's just becoming trained to be a chartered accountant. How did this go for him? It was accurate. So accurate, reliable, and that is that not only are things correct, but also they're complete as well. That's what reliable really sort of means. Are they posted correctly, but also is it a complete system? So it's not that, because we're accurate and we're complete. We are posting it, and we are posting everything. Consistent is comparability. So it's consistent, so we can then compare it to things. And a number's not really much use. Otherwise, it's just a big number, unless it can be actually compared to something really. Understandable, relevance is what it used to be a while ago there. So it's relevant to the thing. So understandable is one thing. And we can all understand everything really within given enough time. Relevance is the depth to which the point is sort of made really, because we collate our figures into accounts, and we can collate accounts into sort of lines within financial statements. So is it understandable? Is it relevant to the point of the issue? No, we've got all of those 3 covered. But what we don't have, because we don't do it until the end of the year, is it's not timely. So things happen and we don't get to do anything about it because we only find out about it against the year. So the answer to this one is we are missing timeliness because we're not producing our management accounts on let's say a monthly basis. Identify which of the following types of information will be most useful to Marco to achieve his goal of setting targets for John and Juanita. Okay, so and what we sort of said really is we're going to set targets, all right? This one's a question I think you just have to roll with it. It's one of those ones which you're trying to pick out ones. Let's just cancel off things that aren't targets for John, because it's sort of. Let's just go back to the answer up here, or the open bit here. Just sort of what do they do? here. He runs a small marketing business, 2 staff members of staff, right, and they all visit clients. And there's always one person in the office at all times. So he's running a small marketing business, but it doesn't actually say what John and Juanita do. So they could do anything really. So it's not really the greatest of things. He wants to set targets in here, and targets are budgets really. So it is budgetary information, but you know, in those targets it could have been sales invoices as well, and the only reason why it's not sales invoices is because it would be a sales report, and then inventory control information about stock. You know, now one could say, well, John's the stock manager, so you know, or a production manager, but actually it's marketing, so they don't really have that, so it's not that. Then taxation information is irrelevant. So really those two are relevant here. It's between budgetary information and sales invoices, and because sales invoices is not a sales report and that's budgetary information, it's budgetary information, but it's not a great question, that one really. And that I think is alright. Okay, and then we've got another part to it. Let's keep going here. Marco is considering moving to a cloud-based accounting system. So what a cloud-based accounting system is, it's hosted software, hosted by a software provider really. They put all the software in a great big sort of server somewhere in a nuclear bunker somewhere. That there's you know, I know somebody says nuclear weapon taken out, whatever, and sort of a nice big hole or a sort of an ex-mine or something like that, which keeps it nice and cool. And we sort of stuff the data into that. Big advantages of cloud-based systems. You know, you're not managing servers. Typically, they've got better security, and also as well, you can sort of link it into other software so that it sort of works. You know, you can sort of get better reports out and that kind of stuff really. So more integration between that type of software and just, you know, a sort of a server sitting in somebody's office. Right. So. He's been told this will automatically complete the transfer of data from the books of prime entry to the ledgers. Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of things automatically transfer data from the books of prime entry to the ledgers. Marvellous. And it automatically gives a transfer of data into control accounts. Yes, so that's just these are just digital accounting systems. And it will automatically reconcile the payables and receivables ledger to their respective control accounts. That's just a digital account system. Marco does not understand what this means. Okay. The difference between a manual and a digital. So really what we just explained was there was nothing to do. We had the cloud bit, but there was nothing to do about cloud so far. Manual versus digital. So manual is handwritten with a chance of error. Describe the differences. Chance of error. You know, amounts need to be. You know, transposition to accounts in the general ledger, and transposition to subsidiary ledgers. And it says mention so transposition. Right, so the transposition of the day books to accounts, and transpositions to day books to the subledgers. Okay. And then we need to reconcile. We need to manually reconcile. Control accounts. And the digital one will. So in terms of our digital system in there, when we record, let's say the sale, prime entry, they're automatically transferred. And they're automatically transferred to the general ledger accounts, the subsidiary accounts in there. So I'm not going to keep typing that stuff out. So they're automatically transferred to the general ledgers and the subsidiary accounts, and they automatically reconcile. Does not eliminate the chance of error, but eliminates element. Not. Chance of error, but does eliminate chance of addition and transposition errors. And it also is faster and saves time. always get that in whenever you get anything like that one. So let's go through. Let's get up our account. I think we've covered everything in that one, really. Right, so we've done that. Marvelous. What was it? It's 5 marks for this one in here. I've explained what's going on with the manual sort of side. I've explained what goes on the digital side. I've cleared all the points. I've probably scored a good. Oh, actually, I'm looking at the marking scheme, and it says there's 3 marks for manual, 3 marks for digital, and I've gone way and I've covered all the points actually in there. So I did well on that one. So congratulations there by me. So yeah, I scored all the marks. So I scored 8 out of 5. Right. That's the end of that question, I think.